Hello and welcome back to the Hangry Mexican Podcast. I'm so excited because we're kicking off season 2 with a Wonder Woman. She's an actress, comedian, content creator. She's best known for her impressions of famous celebrities. She has more than 1 million followers on TikTok, and with over 900,000 followers on Instagram, she is a social media superstar. So today on the podcast, we welcome Natalie Friedman. Natalie and I met up at Tiago Coffee Bar and Kitchen in Hollywood, so my thanks to them. She and I had a nice little chat about her successes and her way of tackling life. And I also got a few little impressions out of her. So I can't wait to share this interview with you. DJ, welcome to season 2 of the Hangry Mexican Podcast. Do me a favor, roll that music. Hey, Natalie, thank you for joining me on the Hangry Mexican Podcast. This is exciting.
This is exciting. Thank you for having me, Oscar.
Yeah.
We are on the Hangry Mexican Podcast with the non-hangry Russian. Just having tea. I ruined the whole mood.
No, I mean, I got, I've been eating all day, so I have a breakfast sandwich. We're here at Tiago Coffee Bar and Kitchen in Hollywood. In fact, I can see the Walk of Fame from here.
You can see the Walk of Fame.
Yep.
It's a beautiful day. February 6th, and we're outside.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
In my cashmere sweater.
I mean, it's good to meet you in person. But
Yes.
I first saw your Instagram account because it kept popping up in like search results because you have over 900,000 followers. I mean, that's like practically 1 million.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, how in the world did you do that? How did you get up to all these followers?
Well, a lot of hard work. I started really posting about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, and started posting my characters, impressions, comedy sketches, and had a bunch of videos take off. And then, momentum and the furnace was burning, and I kept just posting content and posting my work, and got a few reposts from celebrities, and it's been fun.
Yeah, well, one of the great things about you is you do all these impressions, which I think has gotten the attention of a lot of people.
Yes, definitely. But for some reason, not yet Lorne Michaels, but he'll get the message soon.
Was that what you want to do? You want to be in SNL one day?
I would love to be on SNL. I would also like to be on a lot of other shows.
Uh-huh.
I would also like to have my own TV show, so I'm working on it.
I mean, as far as SNL goes, do you want to be like a regular cast member, or as a guest, or like what's the?
I could visualize them inviting me as a host because of my own show, or I could see myself as a regular cast member. I guess the journey will evolve as it should, right? Definitely love a lot of other TV shows. I'd love to have my own Netflix special. So, but until then, you guys can see me do stand-up all across the U.S. and.
What's your next upcoming comedy show?
My next shows are in Texas, so Houston, San Antonio, and then I'll do some LA shows at the end of the month. DC. So everything is always announced on my page, so you won't miss it. So, and I want to invite you to a show.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
I'm flattered.
Yeah.
Thank you. And I will go to that show.
Yes.
As long as it's not in Texas. No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
No, I would go to Texas. Yeah, I've never been to Texas. Have you
Okay.
been to Texas before?
I have. I've been to Dallas, but not the cities that I'm going to. So.
What do you like about Texas?
Well, I went for a dance competition. I was on dance team for years and years since I was a
Wow.
kid. So I liked it. It reminded me of Minnesota a lot, actually.
I know you're from Minnesota
Yes.
originally.
Yes. Minnesota, not everyone talks like that, but, some people do. Some people actually talk like this up there, but it's not as common as you think, But, they say don't and and very nice people up there.
Did you have a Minnesotan accent before you came out here to the...
No, I never really, I don't think so. I think I talk more like a New Yorker, is what people tell me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Wow, and you've been to New York as well?
Yes, I lived there for 9 years.
Holy moly! What were you doing in New York for 9 years?
That was acting school and stand up and building everything.
Wow.
New York is an amazing place to start out.
Wow. And how did you? Well, you know what? Before we get into your Instagram and everything that you do now, I kind of want to start at the beginning.
Let's go.
'Cause I'm intrigued by Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
How is it that a girl from Minnesota landed in LA? How did all that start? That adventure, that journey?
Well, I always knew that I wanted to be an entertainer. Since I was a kid, I visualized myself either as an actress or a pop star or a comedian. So I knew that LA had to be the destination. And that's really it, just following that. And after acting school, it was the appropriate step.
I mean, did your parents have to do a lot of sacrificing to get you into acting school?
No, I did everything myself.
Wow. You know, a lot of people would be intimidated to do a lot of things by themselves.
Yeah.
But it seems like you just kind of like...
I did, yeah. I mean, my parents are very supportive, and they've always... I wish I had that story of like, oh, everybody said I couldn't do it, but they said I could do it, and they supported me with the move to New York, and I did everything on my own, you know, was a nanny part-time. I worked in a daycare part-time and kept working my way up.
When you say nanny, I kind of almost envision you as like a Patch Adams type, where you just kind of made the kids laugh all the time.
I'm really good with kids. I love kids, and I don't know if they should come to my stand-up shows because it's PG-13, but we'll do a separate show for the kids, 13 under.
There you go. No, that's awesome though. I mean, a lot of people have struggles getting to where they are now, but there's nothing more like having those supportive parents. I think that makes the huge difference for anybody. I think the people that I've talked to that have struggled somewhat is because they don't have that support at home. Mm-hmm. But the ones that I have talked to that have gotten to where they are now with a lot of hard work, but yet the support of their parents, they have a whole different outcome, I feel.
Yeah. Well, I think also, you know, you could have a lot of people in your life saying this is hard, or I don't know if you should do this, or look at the statistics. But if you have an ironclad plan and strategy, then nobody can really touch that. You know, you can dream all day and visualize all day, but if you have the strategy and plan and you work hard, it's okay if you have people saying this is really hard. Because I still get people saying, oh, isn't it so hard? Or, you know, I'm like, I stay with my plan and work really hard and
take it day by day.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
And how's the sandwich? I mean don't be shy. Let's hear. We haven't heard you crunching, and we need to hear the ASMR of the potatoes.
Oh, there you go. Are you a big ASMR fan?
I watch it sometimes, and I've been told a lot that I should do it, but I'm like, I don't have the time to do it, but I think it can be really nice.
There you go. No, I interviewed a couple of ASM artists from the UK.
Did you fall asleep?
No. Do
you get affected by it? Because not everybody gets affected by it.
Well, okay, when I first started, I did get like the tingles and stuff. Did you say
when you first started watching it?
Yeah, like the hair, the back of my neck kind of stood up a little bit, and it just felt really relaxing. Now, what happens is that I still get relaxed. I just don't get the tingles or anything like that. But if I need to just relax a little bit, I watch it, and then I kind of just fall asleep to it. I don't know what
so it does work for you.
It does, yeah. Okay. It does. But my wife thinks it's so strange.
Some people think it's strange that aren't affected by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, are you affected by it?
Yeah, I get affected by it. I mean, I've browsed different channels on YouTube, and some people I'm like, not hitting me, and then some people I'm like,
well, usually
your nails on tinfoil? Hell yeah.
Oh, man.
But I think, hey, I think it's an extraordinary discovery. Scientists are still studying it, and it's better than sleeping pills. It's better than, you know, it's actually it's natural. You're just being affected by sounds, and I think that if people do that instead of a nightcap or a pill, it's great. Yeah. And I know a lot of kids that watch it to help them fall asleep, and I think it's amazing. The parents should let them instead of, getting them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I know that one of the misconceptions is that, it's sexualized. But that's one of the questions I asked the ASM artists that were on my podcast here, and they said, like, no, not at all. Like, some people just misconstrue what we do as that. But
well, because of the the mouth is involved in some of the ASMRist work and.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
what that mouth do?
But there is a double standard, I feel, between the guys that do ASMR and the girls that do ASMR.
Right.
Like if a guy does ASMR, they don't think anything of it.
Right.
He can be whispering, he can be doing whatever, and they don't think it's a sexual thing. But
Yeah.
once a girl does it, oh no, like
Right.
ban that stuff.
Well, she's staring into the camera. I think it's just okay. You're just attracted to her. But I think it's great. I don't do ASMR, but I've done some parody stuff of ASMR. Maybe I should do some more parody
yes.
ASMR.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. I think has seen as ASMR to me that you do is probably Siri. Your Siri sketches.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow. I thought you would say Ariana Grande because she's a little. But Siri, yeah, I love playing Siri.
I don't think I've heard your Ariana Grande.
There's a few videos on my page, but she's next. I gotta do her again. But Siri is fun. The best compliment I could get was that really you, or was that a recording? That's the best compliment I can get when people don't actually believe it and they're like, I don't think that was her. I'm like, mission accomplished. We are here at the Hangry Podcast on Hollywood Boulevard.
There you go. That almost put me to sleep.
Yeah, there you go.
ASMR.
He's snoring, you guys.
No, that's amazing that you can do all these impressions. Before we start on that, I didn't forget about your question about the sandwich.
Yeah,
it's
how
actually
is it?
really good.
Okay.
Really good. I just realized they didn't bring napkins or forks or anything.
Okay.
So I think at one
like-
point I should stand up and go get some. Yep. I'm not an animal here, people.
Stands up out of
Yeah.
shot. Yeah, I guess you could eat the potatoes with the toothpick thing.
Oh, yeah.
That works.
There you go.
Potato.
Perfect. Oh, yeah, that works. Now, these impressions, do they come naturally to you?
Some do. Some I have to practice more than others. I would say that, yeah, there's some that are pretty easy.
What have been the hardest ones for you?
Right now I'm working on Meryl Streep. So you guys are actually the first to hear that. Every other interview I'm like, it's a surprise. You'll see it when you see it, but I'll tell you.
Okay.
So once I feel like that's good to go, you're gonna see it on my page. You're gonna see it in my content. So, and then also
Very
coming
nice.
up with original characters too, not just impressions. That's really fun.
And how long have you been on Instagram?
I think I made an account like 5 years ago. No, more than that. I made an account like 8 years ago, but I really didn't start posting stuff until like 2 years ago, actually.
What changed?
It was just kind of sitting there. Well, I was doing stand-up in New York, and the impressions on stage and the characters would get so much attention. And I do feel like I was late to the party of posting things on YouTube and posting things online. I just realized this is the wave, and I think Vine was going on when I finally was like, okay, I really got to start posting stuff. So I always say I was late to the social media party, but it's okay. I'm here. I'm at the party. And TikTok is also fun as well. I think it's a different medium, but I like TikTok as well.
What do you think of Twitter and Facebook?
I'm on those. On those. I post on those as well. I think they're all. If you're in entertainment, I think they're all necessary. As Gary Vee would say, he would say you got to be on all of them.
Yeah. Well, by far, which one would you say is your favorite to be on?
That's a tough one. I think Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok are tied. They're all fun.
Mm-hmm. What's your favorite feature from Instagram?
Favorite feature. I think going live is fun. You get to actually talk to your fans right there. That's really fun. And then you hear them say, do this. I love when you do this. Come to this city. Come to this city. They'll say, right now everyone's saying like, come to Boston. Come to Boston. So I'm like, okay, we got to do a show in Boston.
Ah, there you go. Have you been to Boston before?
No, I have not been to Boston.
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah?
You're going to love it. Yeah, it's a little bit of, it has that New York feel, but also like you could just feel the presence of all those historical figures that created this country up there. Yeah, it's impressive. I think that's probably my most favorite city other than LA.
Okay, good to know.
Yeah, yep.
I gotta go there. So what's your favorite part of LA?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Or what would you, if you had a free day to do anything, what would you do?
Go shopping at Rodeo Drive.
Okay.
No, I'm kidding. No.
Okay, I'm coming with you. Are we going to Versace?
Sure, let's do it.
Okay.
I would say, I mean, just one of the things I love is eating. So I love exploring like places to eat, good places to eat. Sometimes in the most like crazy parts or pockets of LA that you wouldn't expect there to be. So I've been to the beach side. I've been to we're in Hollywood here, so I've been to the Valley, been to the West Side. I mean, I've been all over the place, and everything I would say has its own charm. So
just like that noise we just heard. I don't know if that will pick up on the mic, but
yeah, exactly. But I mean, I would say maybe I don't know, maybe Santa Monica area.
Santa Monica's beautiful.
Yeah. But I would say all these small pockets.
Yeah.
That's good. What about you?
I like, the little unknown places too, and then just trying new restaurants, and I love yoga. I love trying different yoga studios. That's what I think is a good time. Oh, comparing this yoga studio to this yoga studio. That's fun for me. Yeah, everything. I like everything about LA. Love West Hollywood, Beverly Hills.
Do you miss Minnesota?
I don't miss Minnesota. I'm not like, oh my God, I miss Minnesota. I need to go. It's more about the people. But Minnesota's a great place. It's Mall of America. Is, lots of things to do, lots of nice restaurants, but I'm loving LA. I think I'm gonna end up here.
Now, when you went from Minnesota to New York for acting school, was that a big shock to you, going from Minnesota to New York, a big city that's like running on steroids practically 24/7?
I get asked that a lot, and I think I was just mentally prepared for it. That it wasn't shocking. I knew what to expect. I've taken a few New York trips before that, and then I have family in Jersey. So, yeah, I just adapted right away. I knew what I was going to get. It was going to be busy, loud, overpopulated, traffic. I was totally ready for it.
Wow. How did you prepare for that if you had never been there
before? I just got a good night's sleep and said, let's go. I'm pretty adaptable, and like I said, I think I'm a city girl at heart. So
there you go. Would you say your adaptability has been key to your success?
Yeah, I think you have to be adaptable in so many different situations, and I think I'm a people person. I would like to say, just get along with everybody, and just embrace the differences. Like I like the big city.
Now, coming back to LA, now is there something here in the city that this city offers that reminds you of home?
That's a tough one. I mean, the healthy lifestyle is pretty big in Minnesota too. Just the healthy options and the yoga studios. So, yeah.
Why should people do yoga?
Well, there's so many different types of yoga. There's Kundalini, Vinyasa, restorative.
I have no idea what you're talking
about. You should check it out. I think that there's a catch-22 to it. So some people will tell me, I tried it and I got too bored, or like I couldn't sit still. And it's like, well, that probably means you need it. Or that probably means, because I really enjoy it and don't find it boring. And then, of course, the meditative aspect about it is really important. I think we all need that. We all need to slow down, and like helps you with mindfulness and being present. And I think, this is a whole other podcast discussion, and obviously I'm not a doctor, but I think it can replace a lot of medicine, and I think it's the key to a lot of preventative health issues. So pretty passionate about that.
Wow. Well, that's good, because what you do, I think, for a lot of people, it's a lot of stress.
Yeah.
But I think you've managed it very well, and I think that's part of
I think there's, I have friends that are lawyers and doctors and surgeons. I think every field can have stress, but I think if you have that outlet and, way to handle it, I find myself, I think I'm a lot better at just not saying to myself, oh my God, this is so stressful. Yeah.
Well, as I finish a bite of my potatoes.
Yeah. Let's see. If you guys think he should be an ASMRist, comment all over his podcast. Potato ASMR.
Man. Yeah, there you
his
go.
His sandwich looks good, but he's not having a lot because they forgot utensils.
I'll probably stand up at some point and go get some.
Okay.
Yeah, but back to social media. So just a couple random questions. If somebody were to just come up and ask you, hey, I really want to get into the social media game. I want to grow my Instagram, want to grow my TikTok, my YouTube channel, but it's not happening. What am I doing wrong? What would you tell that person?
Well, like a doctor, I would first look at what are all the things you're doing? Because some people might say, I'm trying really hard, but yet they only posted this many posts. There's a big element of trial and error. And you can't be afraid to try something new. You can't be too much of a perfectionist. You got to just go for it. I think if you're truly authentic to yourself and posting what you find interesting, people will follow, People will follow. Also, reach out to people that are doing something similar as you. Ask if they want to collaborate. For example, if you're a videographer and you want to, you reach out to different people that make content and say, can I help you out? Can I, be in a video? Things like that. And don't be afraid to ask and reach out for help and say, can I get some advice on how to grow this? And
so let's talk about your process and how you did it. Did you ever have it in the back of your mind, okay, this is how I'm going to do it? Or how did you get into that mentality of, okay, this is what I'm going to post, this is how I'm going to do it?
Well,
how did you arrive to that point?
I knew that people responded a lot to impressions. So I said, let me just post really funny sketches and good acting and good comedy clips, and you see how people responded this clip and then responded this clip, and then you just keep going. And then because I'm in the comedy community, I know so many other creators, reach out to them. Hey, I have an idea for you. And they're like, hey, I have an idea for you. And then it just becomes like a domino effect. And then, of course, you know, once in a while I've posted something where I'm like, oh, I don't think this works, actually. Never mind. Or I don't actually like it that much. I changed my mind. And that's okay. It's trial and error always. And if there was an exact math and science to it, I think, it would be out already. But it's really, every page is unique. Mm-hmm. And then there's a big thing, the monster that we've all heard about, called the algorithm.
Yep.
So if you hit the algorithm, which I picture it being this big blue monster, like in Monsters, Inc. That's what I picture the algorithm looking like. If you hit that, then your video will end up on the Explore page. Like you said, you saw on my page. That's because the engagement, the velocity of the comments and the likes and whatever. There's rumors that it's the first 10 minutes, that it's the first few hours. But I really think it's days. You can end up on the Explore page a couple days later. Same thing with TikTok. Yeah. Then people can find you that weren't following you.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, you've seen that. I'm sure you've seen that tab. People you may like, the suggestion tab.
Yeah.
So things like that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people are trying to break the code of the algorithm.
Right.
They're trying to rig
They're trying to figure it out.
Yep.
I get asked questions about hashtags and, why am I not on the Explore page or, and if I was a mega master, I'd be at 10 million, not almost 1 million. But I think it's just, it sounds so cheesy, but if you just stay authentic to yourself and really talk about things,
Yeah.
I think what I really like is when people are vulnerable too. Like, I love when people talk, show other sides to themselves.
Yeah.
That's really cool too.
So what do you mean by that? Like, so what types of sides?
Well, for example, I had a friend post the other day. I loved it. She's like, everyone always sees me smiling and this and that, but this is the disease that I struggle with. And there was a whole post about that. And I'm like, wow, that's so amazing to be vulnerable, and then people can come in and feel, part of that community, and then they can open up to other people. I think that's what's really cool. Or the no makeup posts. Love those. I got to do more of those. Yeah, I think it's important to just talk about things that are issues as well.
Well, let's talk about some of your vulnerabilities.
You're like, let's talk about your issues. Let's go.
Yes, let's do it. Yeah. What's your Achilles heel, if you will?
Achilles heel. Let's
yeah.
see. I would say I'm an overthinker. That's something I need to work on. That, not ruminating on things and being a perfectionist. That's something that I've gotten better at. Of like, I could have done this. I could have done this. I should have done this. Being pretty hard on myself sometimes. So I'd say that. Working on that. He's like, I wanted something juicier.
No.
I wanted to know who she slept with last week. Damn it.
It's none of my business. But one of the things actually that just popped up in my mind was, a lot of people, they have pet peeves. Like, they can be the happiest go lucky person, but there could be that one thing that just sets them off. Do you have anything like that? Like any pet peeves?
I do. So I'm really big on integrity, and I take things pretty literal. So my pet peeve, and this is more in business, and I'm sure it'll be funny if this gets played in the future for like employees or something. If somebody says they're going to do something, like, hey, I'm going to do this, I'll do this by tomorrow, or like, I'll do this by 5 p.m. tomorrow, and they don't, it's just like your word just diminishes smaller and smaller and smaller. For me, maybe not everybody. And I'm not like, this like lawyer or judge. It's like, everybody has things that come up, but I think that comes up quite a bit in business where somebody will say, I'll do this by this date, or I'll call you on Thursday. And like, I take that pretty literal, because when I say it, I'm like marking my calendar. I'm like, call this person, or like send them this email. So that's a pet peeve. Do you feel like that would be a pet peeve for you?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And it is.
Okay, good.
It is. Yeah.
I think for a lot of people
Yeah, there was, and I forgot which movie I saw this in, but there was a movie that I saw where one of the characters says, the only thing I have is my word.
Yeah.
I want to say Scarface. Maybe it was Scarface.
Probably. That's all we have, we all just have our word.
So I don't know.
Right, it's like that old school business handshake,
Exactly.
Like, obviously, if your friend is having a party and you're 20 minutes later than you said, that's not a big deal. I'm not that type A. It's just mostly with my work and business. I like to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I kind of feel that maybe, if you're gonna say something, then do it. Or at least if for some reason something comes up, then tell the other person.
That's exactly it. Yeah. That's totally, things happen, things pop up. So yeah, I think it's important to just keep good integrity with everything, and
now
everyone's gonna be like scared now. I said to Natalie I'd meet her at 3 and it's 3:02. She's gonna hate me. No, not that crazy.
Well, like, what would you say your limit is for when a person is late? Then that's it. Like, would you say
like in the business category?
Yeah, like if they're like 30 minutes late, is that too much? Or versus if they're to like an hour late, or like
an hour is pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I think 30 minutes is cool. I mean, I've been late before because of traffic, but I'm always like, hey, this is it. Yeah, it depends on the situation. But if it's the first time, it's not a big deal. But if it's like, oh, this person is always 45 minutes late, then it's like, let's lie to them about what time we should meet up. Let's just say that the meeting's at this time, and then we're good.
I've done that before.
Yeah. Well, I watched a YouTube video about Elon Musk, and I don't know how credible it was, but it seemed like that person really did interview him. And they said that his whole day is scheduled in 5-minute increments. I mean, look at how successful the guy is. Yeah. And then obviously there's patches where, if this thing runs over, there's like a plan for that. And then there's like a half-hour window where if the other stuff didn't happen. And I don't schedule things in 5-minute increments. But if you kind of have that mentality, I think you can get a lot more done. We all have 24 hours in a day. So I'm actually really, this past year, I've become really fascinated in like time management. Like Elon Musk does this, Tony Robbins does this. Yeah. This person does this. I think that's pretty fascinating.
Yeah, it's impressive how if you study somebody's successful time management.
Yeah.
It might seem an impossibility, but then you realize that you can do it yourself. You just have to be disciplined at it.
Yeah, you just had the same hours as them.
So how do you do it? Do you get help? Do you do it all by yourself? How's that process?
Well, I have some people on my team, which is great. I really like physical planners, like actual calendars. I think I just still like writing things, but then I also will upload to a digital calendar on my computer. So calendar-wise, I'm kind of using both. And I have things on my calendar in April, May, and June already. So I kind of like know what's coming. I'll take a scan at my week. I'll say, what's the goal of the week? What's the goal of the day? Yeah.
Wow. That's great. How many people are in your team?
It's like 4 or 5.
That's
yeah,
good.
like
your entourage.
yeah. No, I'm not always like rolling with all of them to places, but different departments do different things, and I think that's important. And I don't. We're all like the same team. Like I've just happened to be the one acting in the content, but and then working with my sister has been fun. I want her to be a team member. She's really, really brilliant and adds a lot of value to what I'm doing. So
that's awesome. What happens if you ever get in a fight outside over, I don't know, some kind of sister fight? Would that carry over to the professional world?
I don't think so. I think there's like a switch. It's like now we're in business mode. Because, I'll call her sometimes and just talk like as a sister. I'm like, how's this and this? And then I'll call her sometimes. I won't even say, hey, how are you? I'm like, yo, so this is what's happening. She's like, oh, yeah. And then it's like, okay, I got to go. So there's different switches.
That's awesome.
And I think that's good.
Oh.
And the people that I work with, you become like family with. So you have to turn it on and off different switches.
Work environments become very toxic because people's personalities are different. Mm-hmm. So there's some that just don't mesh together. Have you ever had that issue pop up in your career, in your life, where you think...
No, I'm kidding.
Where you think one person is the right fit, but then doesn't turn out to be that way?
I think it happens all the time. Yeah, definitely. Even just, scheduling stuff too. Like, oh, this person might be too busy or they might have different goals yeah. But I'm glad to say I don't have any enemies or anything. I'm like, oh, I'm so perfect. I'm so nice. No. I think I'm pretty lucky to be surrounded by so many amazing people, from comedians to content creators, actors. I'm very blessed to just know so many people and so many great people that inspire me. So.
Yeah. Now, earlier we talked a bit about you being on TV for shows and for radio interviews.
Mm-hmm. I just did a radio interview this morning.
There you go.
Yeah.
At the yoga studio.
It was Kid Craddock in the morning over in Texas. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, you're going to Texas for your
phone-in interview.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, do you like radio interviews better than TV interviews, vice versa, or does it even matter to you? Do you have a preference?
I don't think I have a preference. I like them both. I mean, I like this. We're having a casual conversation. Yeah. You can't see my beautiful cashmere sweater and your nice white T-shirt, but I think, exactly. I like them both.
It's only going to stay white, I think, until the end of this interview.
Right,
because
then you see avocado on it.
Oh, yeah, exactly. And I'm a big mess sometimes.
Okay.
It's like I know. It's like it's hard to wear nice clothes sometimes because I'd be out drinking coffee and then all of a sudden I look down and, oh, no. But I'm trying to get better at it.
Yeah.
I just have to be conscious.
Yes.
I usually do like I grab the whole plate and I put it right here in my mouth and then I eat or drink.
There you go.
Because if I leave it here on the table, it's not good.
So how was the first episode of the Hangry Mexican? How was that for you? So that was your first time. This is your first podcast, right? Yeah.
Well, I kind of took a note from all these late night talk show hosts that either inherit a show or have a show, and their first episode is usually family members that show up or a guest they're really comfortable with, somebody that they know. Mm-hmm. So I actually got one of my really good friends to be the first guest.
Okay.
Yeah, she's a reporter and somebody that I worked with closely in Santa Barbara, and it was just a natural fit that she would be the first guest. And so it was a really comfortable experience just to kind of break it in.
Yeah.
And then after that, I started with maybe some people's other friends that maybe I didn't necessarily hang out with, but I knew of them. And then from there, I started getting guests that I just had no idea who they were. I'd never met them before.
Yeah.
But I feel like we all share something in common. So we all know somebody that knows somebody that knows you. So as far as I'm concerned, like every guest that I get is a really good friend of mine.
Cool.
That's how I see them.
Well, I'm honored to be on it.
Okay, let's talk impressions.
Okay.
You've done everything from Britney Spears. I've seen Nicki Minaj. I've seen Cardi B. Do you have a favorite one?
Favorite one? That's a tough one. I am going to be releasing, this is only for you guys because I wanted to surprise people, but I'm going to be releasing a Lady Gaga impression next week that you guys have never seen. So that's a new favorite. I think whenever somebody's new, that's my current favorite, but I love doing them all.
Very nice. Can you do a few impressions for us?
Oh, which ones?
Can we have actually?
You know what? I'll just surprise you.
Okay. All right.
But you sounded really excited about something.
Yes. So out of all the impressions, something that I think would be really hard is the Britney Spears one. How do you even do that? Like get that Britney Spears voice in there.
It's like it's Britney, bitch, and just
she has a great voice. I really like doing Mariah Carey because it's like she has a very sexy voice. I love Mariah Carey. I wish I could sing like her. Now, if I could figure that out, then I'd be almost a billionaire. I mean, so
there you go.
I definitely want to. I think I can sing decently, but I want to work with a vocal coach and really grow that skill.
Are musicals in your future, do you think?
I think so. I really want to do Broadway, and I want to sing, dance, and act. So Broadway is a bucket list thing for me in my career. Broadway shows.
So when we say acting, do you want to be all-encompassing? Like do TV shows, do movies, do plays?
Yeah. A couple Broadway shows. Tick.
Wow.
Stand up. Tick.
Have you done any movies?
I've done indie films, but not huge movies. So
anything
that's
that we
coming
might
soon.
know?
I don't think so. I mean, there was I played a character in a Netflix show that aired like 5 years ago. I played a rapper's manager. It had a couple scenes. So.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's good. How was that process filming for Netflix?
Good, normal, just like any other set, I guess. Didn't notice a difference.
You just have to like they called you in. Do you have your own trailer or anything like that?
No.
Oh, okay.
No. You're making me feel bad about my career now. Wow. He's like, you didn't have your own trailer?
Yeah. What is this world coming to?
Yeah.
No. Okay. So we'll just wrap it up with.
Make sure you wrap it up.
Do you think you would ever do a Visco girl?
That's not a bad idea. I've thought about it. Or like the emo girl with the.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually am writing something. It's funny. You like read my mind. They're not really requesting any impressions, but you guys definitely need to follow the podcast, The Hangry Mexican.
The Chilindrina, they said.
The Hangry Mexicana. Pero no tengo hambre ahora.
Kim Kardashian.
Solo bebe.
Yeah, that's the other form of impressions or set of impressions that I've heard you do. Like you've done Khloe Kardashian, Kim Kardashian.
Yeah, the whole family.
Yeah.
So I do Caitlyn in my comedy set. I just don't know if I can put her on camera. I just don't want to be risk of getting No, but I'm not making fun of her. I just happen to be doing an impression of her.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's like it's like the fine line of like, well, I'm not.
Well, yeah, I mean, everything
has nothing to do with her being transgender. She just happens to be.
I often say everything is fair in love and comedy.
Definitely, and it's up to the comedian's discretion. But they love Nicki Minaj. Like I'm just gonna sit here and sip tea because that's none of my business. And then comedy shows: Houston, February 19th, San Antonio. I wish I could fly you into those, but
I know, yeah.
And then February 28th, I'll be at Flappers in LA. 2 different shows. So
there you go.
You're coming with whoever you want.
Okay, sounds good to me.
He's like, I'm not coming with all that traffic. I'm just being nice right now. All right, you guys.
All right, Natalie, just to wrap it up, is there anything else you want to just add that maybe we didn't talk about or I didn't ask?
I think you did a really good job of asking. It was fun getting to know you.
Thank you. It was fun getting to know me, too.
Yeah, you got to know yourself a little bit. I think you covered a lot. You did a good job.
That's good. All right, well, then that's it.
But do you have feedback on the sandwich? That's what we're all waiting for. You said it was good, but now you're really diving in. There's avocado, there's tomato, there's egg, bacon. Is there like a mayo on it?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, some kind of homemade mayo type thing.
On a
And
sourdough?
cheese. Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
I love
That's a lot of
sourdough.
allergens for you LA people. Well, thank you for having me. This is amazing.
Well, thank you for being here.
Next time we'll do it over Mexican food.
Yes, Mexican food.
Awesome.
All right, Natalie, thank
Muchas
you so
gracias.
much. My thanks again to Tiago Coffee Bar and Kitchen in Hollywood and to Natalie Friedman for coming on this podcast. I had such a blast talking with her, and I feel like I just barely scratched the surface. So I'm looking forward to having her on the podcast again. You can find Natalie on social media. Use the handle Natalie Friedman on TikTok and Instagram. And of course, I will have those links for you in the description to this episode. You can send your questions and comments to hangrymexicanpodcast@gmail.com. Again, that's hangrymexicanpodcast@gmail.com. All one word. I really want to hear what you, the listener, has to say about our little show here as we're kicking off season 2. And we might just feature some of those questions and comments in a later episode. You can listen to us wherever you get your podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc. We are on all major platforms. All right, thanks again for listening, and until next time, good night, good luck.